seen. Stand in the light and be seen for who you are. Welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. Grand Rising is our theme for this year. Today we're continuing our June series, Holy Boldness, by examining the significance of being fired up. A couple of events that are happening this week that I want to share with you. June 12th, which I believe is Wednesday, is Loving Day. And the significance to this was on this day in 1967. The United States Supreme Court unanimously ruled in favor of Mildred and Richard Loving, a couple who showed immense courage and love, and the ruling rendered states' laws against interracial marriages as unconstitutional. This was in 1967. This landmark event stands as a testament to the power of love, a profound celebration of love that recognizes no barriers. Confucius says this about love: a heart set on love will do no wrong. And then James Baldwin says this: love takes off masks that we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within. The other event that I call our attention to is Flag Day, which is Friday, June the 14th. Flag Day, originally ratified in 1777. Our current flag, though, was designed by high school student Bob G. Heft from Lancaster, Ohio. His history teacher had given him a B- for not knowing how many states were in the Union. In anticipation of Hawaii and Alaska being added to the Union, Bob designed and submitted to the White House, and this was an unrequested. He took his initiative and submitted a design for a new flag. To his surprise, President Eisenhower called to congratulate him. And so today, Bob Heft's 1958 design, showing 50 stars in a field that includes 5 rows of 6 stars and 4 rows of 5 stars, is now our 50-star American flag. And a little footnote to this story: as a result of Bob's creation being acknowledged and accepted, his history teacher changed his grade to an A. So there's hope. In both of these examples that I offer, individuals were fired up, stepped out of their comfort zones, and took bold steps to express their passion and their creative expression. They demonstrated that being fired up means we're excited, passionate, and ready for action. Being fired up with holy boldness knows that we mean anything. It means that we know anything is possible for us to achieve without question. And today's topic, Fired Up, Ernest Holmes offers this in the Science of Mind textbook on page 478. Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, and renews the soul and proclaims the spirit. Love is the central flame of the universe. Last week, we began our exploration of holy boldness by taking a look at sacred audacity, setting the tone for today's topic, Fired Up. And so if you missed last week's talk or would like to listen to it again, I invite you to visit our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. And while you're there, remember to like, share, and comment. These clicks have an invaluable, provide an invaluable resource for our community. And so today we continue our conversation by examining the wisdom and guidance of science of mind and spirit. The spiritual philosophy that offers us the tools to nurture our knowingness within and our connection to the divine source. We develop a sacred relationship with Spirit, this divine knower within us, and this knowing leads and guides us to intuitive insights that illumine our pathway. Holy boldness, if you will, is the fire in our soul that propels us into action. It ignites the flame within, keeps it stoked, and confirms that everything is possible in God. Holy boldness is what Holmes refers to as fire in the belly, the necessary conviction for effective prayer. And I have a flashback to my Science of My Own Foundations course in 1974, I think was when I took, no, 1994. 1994 is when I took the Foundations course. And in learning about spiritual mind treatment and breaking down the core concepts of science of mind, this expression was used by Holmes as fire in the belly, and that's that conviction, it's that impetus, it's that drive that takes us to that place of confident knowing that everything is working for not only our highest good, but for the highest and best of everyone that is concerned. The more we nurture our relationship and connection with the divine knower, the deeper it grows. As our confidence expands, we can feel the connection that is closer than our breath. While the sensation may be subtle and discreet, it can be likened to being fired up, like having the fire of God within us. This is the energy and enthusiasm for being fired up and ready to go. And going back to our Science of Mind textbook, on page 159, Ernest Holmes wrote this: "Not only must we have complete faith in Spirit and in its ability to know and to do, we must have complete confidence in our approach to it. We must not be lukewarm in our conviction. We must know that we know that we know." In his 2016 campaign, President Barack Obama adopted a chant by Edith Childs that exclaimed, "Fired up, ready to go." This chant would wake up a room. And in one of his speeches, Obama said, "One voice can change the room. One voice can change the city. And if you can change a city, you can change a state. And if you can change a state, you can change the nation. And if you can change a nation, you can change the world." And so in our spiritual teachings and in our interconnection with Spirit, we know that the change we make within creates a better place for everyone. And this happens when we are fired up with Spirit and ready to live our best life yet in holy boldness. We feel like anything is possible. We have an attitude of zest and zeal for life, and we're ready to tackle whatever comes our way. We're fired up and ready, willing and able to do what needs to be done. And when we think of being fired up, we also think of being vulnerable and humble. And again, I go back to our Science of Mind textbook and these words from Ernest Holmes. "Someday, we shall learn to lay our burdens on the altar of love, that we may be consumed by the fire of faith in the living Spirit." Vulnerability, humility, and openness are essential qualities of our spiritual work, our personal development, and our evolution. Many see vulnerability as a weakness, which is generally less admirable in today's society. Yet vulnerability opens up the space for healing, learning, and openness. The ability to be vulnerable is a great strength. We're stimulated, and at the same time, we are allowing patience and surrender to open the space for further learning and growth. To be humble requires releasing arrogance or any sense of superiority. Instead, we become open and teachable. One of my colleagues would often say, as we were in conversation, or even if we were in class together, was, "I remain teachable. I remain teachable." Embracing vulnerability and humility, we gain a new perspective on being fired up with holy boldness. It says there is value in being quiet and still, in listening and leaning in to hear something deeper and greater. So what may sound like an opposite, we're saying, we're being fired up with spirit. We're activated, we're motivated, we're ignited with passion to do all things. We become that mama bear protecting its cub, if you will. And at the same time, in being fired up, we move into that place of humility and vulnerability, where we let go of our arrogance and we tune in with the inner ear to hear what the Spirit is saying to us. Being fired up brings a deeper conviction and commitment to know whatever we are fired up about, and this is the fire in the belly. In the Essential Homes are these words: our prayers should be filled with conviction, warmth, color, and imagination. The creative power responds to feeling more quickly than to mental attitude. And this reminds me of, and I'm paraphrasing, but there's a part in Ernest Holmes' last sermon, the Sermon by the Sea, which was delivered here at Asilomar, where he says, "Show me one person that demonstrates this teaching, and there I will have met someone that I can communicate with." So what Holmes is saying is that we let go of all of the philosophical, nice, lofty-sounding words that we use, because we have our own spiritual lexicon, if you will. I know a friend of mine would often say when her daughter would come and visit our center, is that she says, "Mom, I have to bring a dictionary when I come to your church because I don't understand half the words that are being said." And that is not our goal. Our goal is to break this down at a level of our own understanding as we embody it, and as we develop this fire in our belly, then we develop our own language that reflects the meaning that this teaching, the spiritual technology, has for us. And we communicate it at a level that reflects that fire within, that inner knowingness. When we have the fire in the belly, we have the inner passion, motivation, and clarity and purpose that drives us towards our specific goal and our vision. We have strength and confidence that we will get there no matter what. We know that we know that we know. And so our call to action this morning is to become fired up with life. Be ready to proceed along the path to completion, knowing that nothing can stop, deter, or slow us down. When we're revved up with inspiration, motivation, and readiness, we're willing and excited to step outside of our comfort zone. We give ourselves permission to color outside of the lines. We give ourselves permission to use that creative energy that is waiting to express as it only can express through us. If we hit a roadblock or an obstacle, we move through it or we move around it. Dr. Martin Luther King offered this: we can walk through the darkest night with the radiant conviction that all things are working together for good. And this is another emphasis and focus of our spiritual technology of Science of Mind, to know that everything, absolutely everything, is always working together for our good. And so in being fired up with holy boldness, we focus less on who we were and more on who we are becoming. We embrace bravery and courage, which includes being vulnerable and humble. We become the best version of ourselves. And we add this warning label, recognizing that there's no such thing as perfect. What you see are my flaws and your flaws. We see each other's flaws. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and open up and let others see our flaws, that demonstrates our uniqueness. And it's that uniqueness that unites us and brings us together as a community, as a body, knowing that we do make a difference. So be or do something new or different. Listen to your intuitive guidance and do whatever it is, despite any fear. Let's do it now. I invite us now to say together our affirmation for this week. And I'm trusting that you will use these affirmations during the week to be that little spark of inspiration and keep you fired up. And so our inspiration is, I am fired up and ready to live life fully. Let's say that together. I am fired up and ready to live life fully. And so now I invite us to join together in prayer, knowing that all things are working together for our good because we truly are fired up with the Spirit. And so it is from this place deep within that I know that there is only life. There is only divine substance that is expressing everywhere in all things and through all things. It is all that there is. And I also know that I am one with this divine intelligence, this divine spark of creativity. And as this is true for me, I embrace it and know it and declare it as the truth for all people in all places, everywhere, at all times. There is never a spot where God is not. It is the essence of all that there is. And so on this day, I speak my word, knowing that I am fired up with the holy boldness of the living Spirit within. And that throughout my life, no matter what may seem as an obstacle, I can always turn within and tap into that inner spring, tap into that place where I'm ignited with passion, that fire in the belly, that leads me and guides me in the right direction, to be in the right place at the right time, to know when to speak, to know when to be still, to know when to act, to know when to go within, to know what is mine to do and be, and to create that space where each one is allowed to shine their light and stand in the light and the spark of their own greatness. This is the truth for all of us. It is that deep inner knowing that I am one with God, and therefore all things are possible in life. I speak my word this morning, declaring health and wholeness and wellness. For those who are experiencing transitions in life, that transition may be recovering from a medical procedure, or that transition may be witnessing a loved one preparing to step off of this mortal plane and move into the next expression of life. And as we do this, we remember that this experience that is called life is only one chapter in the book of eternality. And so as we live from this chapter, we live boldly. We express vulnerability, we express humbleness, and we express that fire in the belly that lets us know that everything, absolutely everything, is all right. It is perfect just as it is. I speak my word this morning for places where individuals are gathering in the name and nature of oneness, this one love that unites all that there is, recognizing that there are points along the way where our paths may intersect, and it is at those points of connections that we acknowledge the oneness of all life, bringing our unique characteristics, our flaws and all, into that celebration and connection. And for this and so much more than I have words for at this particular moment, I am grateful. Knowing that the truth continues to reveal and express itself in and through and as me, and in and through as each individualized expression of itself. Knowing that my word is a power unto the law, and that it cannot and it will not return void. In deep, deep gratitude, I release this word into that law, which always says yes. And I know it is done. I know it is done and it is complete. And so I just allow it to be. And if any of what I have said resonates with you in any way, I invite you to affirm it with me by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Just a quick reminder that we do have prayer requests. Invite you to complete a prayer request form and leave it in our prayer chest. For those of you who are viewing online, you may submit a confidential prayer request to our website, through our website, montereycsl.org, and we will acknowledge that prayer request and support you in gratitude and support you in moving through whatever it is that you may be experiencing at this particular moment in time. And now it is time to share in the abundance and the circulation of our flow, otherwise known as our tithes and offerings. And it is with gratitude, deep, deep gratitude, that I acknowledge each one who contributes to the financial well-being of this spiritual center. Your donations, your gifts, your tithes, your offerings allow us to continue to bring programs to develop the technology that allows us to expand and bring the good news that love is all that there is. We have an affirmation of abundance. I invite us to say that together. I recognize the presence of God within as a source of abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And so as the ushers will pass the basket here in the center, for those who are viewing online, I invite you to make your donations through mail. Our mailing address is on the screen. You may also text to give. That number is on our screen, 831-246-9694. And you may also contribute online through our website, montereycsl.org/donate. Thank you for your gratitude. Thank you for your graciousness. And most of all, thank you for your love. And I just have a few items to share with our virtual community. We are recognizing Pride Month here at the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living, and we will be participating in the Pride event that is taking place on Saturday, June the 30th. I think it's the 30th. Saturday is the 30th or the 29th? Saturday is the 29th. Saturday, June 29th. And so if you are local, we invite you to come and volunteer with us. We will have a table at the Pride event. And for those of you who are here in the center, we have a sign-up sheet. You may sign up for, we have 3 time slots. that we invite you to volunteer for. For those of you who are viewing online, we invite you to join us and to celebrate Pride in the local community where you are, recognizing that we're all one in spirit. I mentioned Flag Day. Next Sunday is Father's Day. And then on June 19th is Juneteenth, the celebration of freedom, when the last notice of the freeing of the slaves was delivered in the state of Texas. And so we thank you. We say God bless you and invite you to join us next Sunday as we continue our monthly theme, Holy Boldness. And our topic is Unbound and Unstoppable. Thank you and good morning wherever you are.